So, you want to fight in armored MMA. You want to beat the ever-living piss out of your opponent with steel weapons while wearing a full suit of armor? But wait, where do you even get armor? Well, here's a quick video that will guide you through what armor you need, what order to purchase it in, and where to find it. But before we get started, please bash that subscribe button so you can keep up with all the armored MMA content. First, we recommend you find a club near you to join. You can use our club map on our website or Google Buhurt Armored Combat near me. Buying armor is a complex process, and it's best to have veterans of the sport guide you through getting your first suit of armor. There are also helpful forums like Armored Combat Sports Community on Facebook, where fighters discuss armorers and often sell items secondhand. If you have questions about armor, ask that community, they know what's up. Now, the first thing you're going to want to purchase is your Gambeson. This piece of clothing protects you from your own armor cutting into you, and this is how you secure the armor to your body. Once you get your Gambeson, you will place leather arming points as well as leather cuffs onto the Gambeson. This will make it a lot easier when borrowing armor. You will tie your armor or the armor you're borrowing to the places on your body that is comfortable for you when you train. Also, Gambesons get really gross and no one likes sharing them. We recommend getting a cheap Gambeson from Amazon to start. It's fast and easy, and you won't get mad when you f*** up your arming points and have to rip the whole thing apart. Eventually, you'll want to upgrade to a custom-made Gambeson, but that can be pricey and take months to get from a good Gambeson maker. Next is something most people overlook. It is the seatbelt or arming belt. Just like the Gambeson, you'll want to get one that fits you perfectly because you will have to tie your legs to it. Having a seatbelt properly set up will make your legs feel almost weightless. These are relatively cheap, and most armorers carry a version of these. Next is the most important part of the entire set, your helmet. There are tons of different styles of helmets. Find the one you like the best. The reason why you should get a helmet first out of all the armor is for a few reasons. One, you want to protect your head. Inside the helmet, you will take out the liner and place concussion foam. This is not only to help prevent from getting hurt, but also molds the helmet to your head shape and will reduce the chances of the helmet getting ripped off during battle. 2. There are authenticity committees that require you to wear armor that all matches. So if you have a 14th century helmet while wearing a 16th century Gothic plate armor, the authenticity committee might not let you fight. So we purchase the helmet first because it is the most visible, and then we build our kit based on the century and location our helmet was historically made. And do not cheap out on helmets. This is your head we're talking about. You're going to get hit there a lot by axes and swords. Do not cheap out on a helmet. Next, most people would say to purchase gauntlets. In my experience, you should get boots and Sabatons. Most leagues, including armored MMA, won't let you fight unless you have medieval shoes with non-modern tread. Non-modern tread simply means having a smooth or slightly textured bottom of your boot. It is easy to trade armor or borrow gauntlets, but it is very difficult to have to swap out boots and sabs during a fighter tournament. Now we get to gauntlets. Like the helmet, do not cheap out on these. I recommend getting a good set of steel gauntlets first so you can do both two-handed and one-handed weapons in all the fields of armored combat. And eventually, you can purchase a titanium gauntlet for your sword hand when you get into competitive 1v1 with swords. Next, we have legs. Now, there are two different styles of legs. There are floating legs, where you can see that the leg is only held together by leather straps and rivets. Floating legs tend to be cheaper and have more mobility. Also, we have our shin protections or greaves. This particular shin protection is a 3/4 greave because it only protects a portion of the calf. Now over here we have articulated legs. These joint points are held together by articulating rivets. Sometimes there is even articulation around the hip area to help with mobility. These types of legs are known to be a little bit more protective than floating legs, but they are also more expensive. These types of greaves are fully enclosed greaves. They wrap all the way around the whole calf. Either leg is fine, really you'll have to purchase a style of leg that matches your helmet style. I'd recommend starting with the cheaper steel floating legs and then upgrade to articulating, or maybe even purchase some titanium legs because they are much lighter. Next, I would get chest protection. Now, this is a brigandine chest protection. They come in all sorts of shapes and styles. You can purchase full plate if you'd like. Full plate is more protective, but arguably less mobile. But certainly, full plate is way more expensive. But as you can see, I have a titanium brig and a steel brig. Steel does a better job absorbing blows, but is very heavy. Titanium brigs are a bit more expensive and don't take damage as well, but they are a lot lighter. You'll want to get a brig that feels comfortable to you and covers all the vital spots on your torso. Finally, arms. Yes, arms will last. It is pretty easy to borrow arms, or piece together arms, especially when you're doing 1v1 fighting. As you can see, I'm showing my mixed arm setup. I have a floating bicep, elbow, and forearm, and then a big articulating shoulder. This is because I was doing some axe fights earlier today. The harder the weapon can hit, the bigger the shoulders I recommend. But you do lose some mobility when you're having these big articulated shoulders. So I also have a pair of shoulders that are a lot smaller, so I can just swap out to these smaller shoulders when I need to be more mobile. And just like the legs, you can also get articulated arms. The joint points are all connected by articulating rivets. These are more protective, but again, you lose some mobility. The types of arms you purchase will either be based on your preference, or you might have to buy arms that are based on your helmet type. You can also get arms that are made out of titanium. Bonus! The last thing I recommend buying is a gorget. Now, you don't have to wear a gorget all the time, but when you do team fights or are swinging big weapons, you'll have to wear one. A gorget goes around your throat and protects the neck. Some even come with plates that protect your collarbone. That being said, in most leagues, you do not need a gorget that goes all around the neck. You just need enough to cover your spine area. This lobster tail can be sewn into the back of your helmet and give you that extra protection. Now, I've covered a lot and there's still millions of things I could talk about. That is why it is super important to find a group near you to help guide you through your armor purchase. We recommend training for the sport for a few months before even purchasing armor. Armor sometimes takes about 3 months to get to you, so you'll be training for almost 6 months before your first piece of armor shows up. Again, that's why it's important to meet up with people who know what's going on and have armor that you can borrow in the meantime. But if you're ready to purchase armor, then click the link in our YouTube video description and it will take you to a page with a bunch of trusted armorers we know. And we will continue to update this page with more armorers over the next few months. Good luck and be safe. Also, purchase a cup for God's sake.